Hello, hi everyone, Confronting, the Cryptic Hybrid, and this is Lost Selection. Now, Lost Selection is an episodic visual novel based on the erotic web stories of James Sunny, and it's a title that's in development right now at Select Gameworks. They also put out a demo, so let's check out that demo together. Now, the game does have not safe for work stuff, but I'm going to try to keep it relatively PG-13 for YouTube's sake, at least for now. Alright, so our story starts January 1st, 2009. Actually, that's 10 years ago now, almost. Belinda, we can't live the rest of our lives like this. Out of our many disagreements, I agreed with her on this. It was stifling, and it was really affecting my life. I don't want to live the rest of my life like this. What happened to us? And this is me, I'm James. You're right. I don't think we can do this anymore. She stood up and lifted the handle of her luggage. Goodbye, James. I'm sorry. I stayed silent and just stared at the ceiling. With a heavy heart, Belinda left the house with her luggage, closing the door behind her with a soft thud. Me too. 2 years later, we're partying and we're happy. Oh, same apartment though, okay. This is the 3rd of March 2011, a Tuesday at 7 AM. It was a day of significance for me. Not only was it my first day at the new office, it was also the day I turned 28. I had followed my previous manager and mentor, Mr. Liu, I guess, and we left our jobs together to come to his new firm. He initially broached really? The idea to me and said he was confident about the prospects in his company. Besides, on top of a 15% pay rise, the benefits were far better too. I was interested, of course, who wouldn't be? I work well, Mr. Liu. Despite being a father of 2 at 45, he still has the boundless energy of a fresh graduate. He taught me everything I knew, from dealing with difficult people and situations to understanding the mechanics of office politics. Politics, it's everywhere. You don't like it, you can hate it, but you still have to play the game. It's just the way things are. Mr. Liu taught me skills and gave me ideas that school would never have in their syllabus. How do you deal with workers who cause problems? How do you make sure the contractor does things the way you want them to? How do you do things your way even though it appears you are not? He opened my eyes to this beautiful and ugly world of the construction industry, an industry where favors, money and secrets change hands right under our very nose. Corruption. It's everywhere, small, big, in different scale. It's just how you define it. The more you try to hide something, the more people would want to dig it. The best kept secrets are the ones hidden in plain sight. Okay. I arrived at the central business district where our new workplace is located, waiting for Mr. Liu. Barely a minute later, I saw him walking towards me and I gave him a wave. We had a good breakfast, finished our coffee before we walked over to our new office a stone's throw away. Nice office. I like how they have the good vibes, quotes. Be the best version of you. Good things take time, and something else I don't understand there. Okay, so it's 8:30 AM. We arrived at the front desk and informed the receptionist that we are here on our first day of employment. We were told to wait for the HR officer who would be showing us to our desk as well as orientating us in the office. Oh, this is Mr. Liu? Wow, that's quite the beard, wow. So, first day of work. Nervous? Well, been in this with you for 5 years, brother. Wouldn't exactly call it my first day. We laughed together despite our age difference. I addressed him more as a brother than a superior, but I was careful not to let that get in the way of work. When it comes to professional work, I would still address him as Mr. Liu. The HR girl introduced herself as Sharon. She spent some time going through the various forms we needed to fill in. As I waited for her to make copies of my identity card and documents, I quietly observed the office and the people that come in. The people that came in, I guess. The company took up the entire floor of the building. The reception is right in the middle of the whole floor, facing the lift lobby. The glass meeting room I was at is tucked at the side of the reception, giving me a clear view of everyone that walked into the office. One thing struck me though. Wait 1 second, let me just lower the freaking music. Okay, just bothered me a little bit. It's nice, but it's, you know. One thing struck me though was behind the reception. There were two company names, one that I was joining and another. I casually asked the HR if we are sharing offices with another firm, and she replied to me in a most peculiar manner. This is Sharon. Oh, that belongs to the boss's son. I've heard of the name before. It's another design firm. Oh, are we competing for business or working together? We operate independently as separate legal entities, but she whispered in a knowing manner. Daddy pays the bills. So, alright, I laughed and nodded. So it's great, you know. Nepotism, what can you do? Her facial expression changed suddenly as she got back to arranging her documents. I looked up and saw this man walk into the office. He's tall, 1.8 meters at least, with a good build, smartly dressed, and his hair was slicked back and cast into place with a good dollop of hair gel. He walked as if he had this air of arrogance around him, talking briefly to the receptionist before turning left into his office. That's Terry, wing associate of the South Wing. He's also the boss's son. I could not understand the position that companies come up with these days. Wing associate. That does sound weird, actually. That was also Mr. Liu's position. Well, granted that the office was divided into two wings, north and south, it seemed pretty reasonable. Okay, so the boss, my boss, has North Wing and his son has the South Wing, I guess. Okay. North Wing will be where we work. South is the company held by Terry. Okay. My position? Thankfully, still decent. Senior Projects and Admin Manager. Well, that sounds actually relatively normal. I actually administer the contracts mostly, but what do I care as long as they pay me? That was until Sharon passed me a box of my new name cards. I almost fainted. Really? From cards? To save space and text, they printed SPAM James. Oh, so not my full position. Great. There's a space between SP and AM, but it still looks dumb beside each other. I showed Mr. Liu my name card when Sharon stepped out. Not sure if I should be here, bro. I'm spam. 'Cause it's SPM. Mr. Liu laughed and shook his head. Just at the moment, I saw the boss's son come into the meeting room. He stood up and he introduced himself. Hi, I'm Terry. We shook hands and he welcomed us on board. Right, to his father's company. Great. He sort of hinted that even though we work for different companies, in a way our help is still expected when there is something major going on. With that, he headed out and into the lift. You share the same title as him, Wing Associate. Mr. Liu nodded. Sharon came in with our employee badges and said she will show us to our seats. Welcome on board, boys. Let me show you to your seats. I got up and followed behind Mr. Liu. Sharon stopped by the reception to grab some drawer keys that were labeled with our names, probably for our desk drawers. I was then shown to my seat, which was behind this girl called Sandy. I shook her hands with her when I got in earlier, but this time around she was sobbing on her desk. Aww. Sandy? Are you okay? Then without warning I saw Terry storm into the office and drop a file onto Sandy's table. Check what you are doing before you give them to me. He stormed off as I stared on. Okay, that sucks. Sharon came by with a box of stationeries and she gestured for me to go over to her as she issued Mr. Liu his stuff. What was that about? Stay away from Sandy, James. What? Why? She's Terry's ex-girlfriend. My eyes widened as I turned to look at Sandy. She's quite pretty. As she stood up to throw some tissues, I could see her height and build is pretty similar to my ex-wife, Belinda, which we've seen at the beginning. Don't be nosy. Go and spam your work. We laughed and I walked back to my desk when I heard the chime of the lift behind me. It rang and buzzed in my ears. My eyes caught the reflection of the opening and I froze. I couldn't move. I made a full turn and locked eyes with the woman standing in front of me. I have not seen her in quite a while. Dressed in slick business attire with her white blouse neatly tucked in, she looked chic and professional. Oh great, it's my ex-wife! Oh great, Belinda. She grew her hair long, well past her shoulders. Both of us froze for a second and I could see her swallow a lump of saliva as we stared at each other. We did not speak. She looked away first and continued walking towards me. Another lift chimed and Terry came out. Oh. Hey, I missed you at the cafe, sorry. Called out for you, but you didn't hear me. I watched as Belinda turned, smiled and hugged Terry before he planted a kiss on her cheek. I don't know what I was feeling at that point. I could not really describe it. As another lift chimed to unload more staff onto the floor, I swung to the right, focusing my eyes on the reflections of Terry and Belinda on the glass door of the meeting room. They turned to the left and walked in with their hands held. I was in a bit of a daze as I logged into my computer. I needed a coffee. I headed to the pantry, which was shared by both offices. There she was, just walking down the street? No? Oh, okay. I went to the coffee machine and waited for her to be done with her coffee before putting a fresh cup under it. She stayed beside me, adding in sugar and creamer. We were waiting for the other to speak. Come on, just talk. You were married, right? I mean... Belinda spoke first. We're all trying to move on, James. Hope you understand. Yeah, of course. Don't worry. I wouldn't say a word. Let's keep this under wraps. We should probably look at getting the paperwork done. Yeah, sure. I agreed and we parted ways at the pantry. By 10 AM, I met and shook hands with all the team members in my team. So did Mr. Liu. 31st of March 2011. Thursday, 8 PM. So that's what? A month after starting work? Okay, see, 1 month later, yeah. Well, what do you think? I laughed and looked at Mr. Liu. Ha, we're fucked. We're in trouble and Mr. knew it too. The people in our team are a mishmash of rejects from what I could see. We held out hopes that things would get better after a while. Once we get settled in and adjust accordingly, everything would be fine, or at least that's what we thought. It was not the case. We did what we could, but by the end of the first month it was clear that people in our team were troubled. First was Sandy. She's a good girl, sweet, pretty and hardworking, but she's being harassed by Terry. Almost every week, sometimes twice a week, he would make unreasonable demands of her. Sandy does administrative work, mostly filing, and since she used to be from his team, Terry comes over frequently to question her on her past works. Not only that, he makes her do the administrative work for his office too. I hope she gets paid for that. I mean, that's extra work. 2 separate entities, my ass. Yeah, exactly. Due to Terry's constant harassment, I often find her quietly sobbing at her desk. Oh, that's sad. I tried asking her out for lunch, but she always says she has no appetite. I made it a point to buy lunch back for her every time this happens. Huh. Oh no, James, it's fine. You shouldn't trouble yourself for me. It's fine, don't worry about it. No, James. How much is it? Here, let me pay. Sandy, come on, a simple thank you will do. Okay, thanks, James. She flirts with me occasionally, especially when Terry's out of town. She would usually feel more relaxed during those times. Stop being so nice to me, James, unless you want me to fall for you. And what's wrong with that? She would narrow her eyes at me, flashing her cute dimples. Inside the office, Sandy is the only eye candy for me. She dresses well, usually some body-hugging dress. And, oh, sorry. I thought there would be some more descriptive. I love Wednesdays and Fridays. Those were the days Sandy would go for her yoga class after work. Ooh, yoga pants, yes. Working with an inefficient team can take its toll mentally and physically on your body, and like everyone else, I need a form of release. You see, Sandy would leave the office at 6 p.m. sharp, heading across the road to a yoga gym before arriving back around 7:30 with her dinner to continue her work. That would be the best time to work for her, as Terry would have left the office by then. But if she's actually harassed at work, she should tell HR. Me on the other hand, like to feast my eyes on Sandy's body. It's either black or grey tights most of the time, and with tights there is no way to hide anything. The elastic fabric is like a second skin, and every time I see her walk out of the office in that and a loose t-shirt that was almost translucent, my dick would stir. Really, you would stir? Would, step up. Anyway, never mind. It gets better when she comes back in. Sometimes she goes for a short jog. The beads of perspiration, the stray strands of matted hair on her forehead. What an arousing sight. Yeah, but she's the ex of the boss's daughter, so that's probably not a good idea. With her hair tied up in a bun, she looked deliciously healthy. I was tempted to ransack her gym bag on some occasions, but I held back, forcing myself to control my urges and emotions no matter how tempting her body-hugging dress and her high heels looked that day. Jesus, dude, control yourself. The days with stockings are especially hard. This guy needs to get laid. I had to force myself to look away whenever Sandy brings something over for me to vet through and sign. I could not resist staring at her bare backs, stocking feet one day as they were tucked snugly in her cartoon slippers as she placed some files for me to take a look. Okay. Hey, why don't you wear heels when you bring things for me? It's always those cartoon slippers. It's uncomfortable to wear them for the whole day. You're only one desk away, so slippers will do. But I like to see you in heels, huh? Wow, in this day and age, that could be sexual harassment, I think. She smacked me with her file and went back to her seat. Or she should just complain to HR. Like, he said he liked me in heels. Anyway. From that day on, she made sure she wore her heels every time she came over. Oh, okay. That's interesting signal. Right down the seat from Sandy sits Hakim. Hakim is a problem. He always arrives to work well past 10 a.m. and leaves on the dot. It was something Mr. Liu had spoken to him about after 2 weeks into the job, but he still kept at it. So he's coming to work late. HR says he's an okay worker with some family problems, and the boss was willing to turn a blind eye to it. Come on, man. Well, we're all coming earlier, I guess, right? It did not sit well with Mr. Liu, though. Well, yeah, obviously. If someone's not working, the full hours, Hakim is careful with his work. He's been with the company for close to 8 years. The only issue was that he's always distracted. Sometimes his mind would just drift off and stare into blank space. On certain days, I would find him sleeping, nodding off at his seat. Even more surprising though is that he never made any mistakes in the stuff I asked him to help me do. It was always 100%. Perhaps it was because of this the boss was willing to turn a blind eye. Hakim too was transferred from the other office. His transfer was recent, only a few months ago I heard, after Belinda came on board. Belinda had this thing for being punctual, and it really irks her that Hakim is late most of the time, and yet he still leaves at 6 p.m. Also, because of his recent transfer, he still has an ongoing project that he's helping Belinda with. It's like a timed event. After Terry comes over and creates problems for Sandy, Belinda would come over to lecture Hakim. I bet both of them head down to a coffee for their tea break after that. Hakim is huge, he's like 100 kilos in a 1.9 frame. I would not have the balls to talk to him in that manner if I was Belinda, who only stands at 1.6. Still, Hakim's sneeze could probably lift her slender frame of 43 kilos off the ground. Wait, she's 1.6 meters, like 160 centimeters, 160 and 43? I think Belinda is suffering from eating disorder. That's not good. Maybe that's why we broke up. I can't imagine if he actually hit her. She would actually fly right out the window. Oh, that's bad. That would never happen though. Hakim is like a gentle giant. He may be big, but his actions are gentle and slow. Almost like watching a display of Silat, gentle but firm. He is also a nice guy, always smiling. No matter how much Belinda ruffles his feathers, he always manages to remain calm. Moving on down the line, we have Alex, the youngest member of the team. He's fast, like really fast. I could give him something in the morning that would probably take 2 days to complete, and he would send it over to me by mid-afternoon on the first day. 1 second, because now I want the music a bit louder. Yeah. There is just one problem with Alex. Cocaine. No? It's full of mistakes. Oh, okay, so he just rushes. I would waste a ton of time tidying up his work before asking him to do it all over again. And Alex stays really late. He's punctual, I got to give him that. But Alex is in the office at 8 a.m. sharp every day, rain or shine. He would only leave at 10:30 p.m. Sounds like a good worker, right? Well, no. He's got nothing to do. He would stay until 10:30 p.m. so he could take a cab home based on the company's policy for overtime. He would surf the net, watch YouTube, hopefully my channel, have his dinner. Well, let's be honest, he's watching porn at work. Have his dinner, and his cab fares is eating into my pocket budget. That's like $600 a month for his cab charges alone. Wow, that's quite the plan he has there. I massaged my head as I looked at the figures and stuff I needed to deal with. Then there's still Mr. Tong, the oldest member of the team. This being a demo, I think that's the reason why we don't actually see these people. Like Mr. Tong, Alex, but in the full release, we'll probably see them. We call him Uncle Tong. If you disregard the speed at which he does things, he's actually quite good. He's just slow. I cannot blame him though. Sometimes when you need things fast, it's really painful. Something that would take no more than 3 hours, Uncle Tong would take 2 days. That's bad. Thankfully, it has no mistakes. If not, I would probably roll up and die. He's also a loner. I don't know where he goes for lunch, but he would just disappear and appear out of nowhere from some other corner of a room without even a word. That's creepy. He's known for startling people in the office because he's so quiet. Oh, he's definitely... He probably has like bodies. He probably has like a dungeon where he kidnaps people and tortures them. Yeah. Mr. Tong. Silent steps and a set of wrinkled, deep-gazing eyes. It's no wonder he hasn't got many friends in the office. I tried talking to Mr. Liu about him, about this, but he asked me to handle it. He's tied down with bringing in new jobs for the team, or we would all be dead in the water soon. He says he's confident with the job he's bidding for. The client knows him well. I'm just worried if we can handle it, given the state of the team. I lifted my hand and started counting with my fingers. Well, there's Sandy, which Terry's bothering. Then there's Hakim, which I quickly held back from saying my wife, which Terry's girlfriend is bothering. I counted off Alex, ticked off Uncle Tong, and looked at Mr. Liu. Bro, we can't handle a big project with this team, not in this state. He looked at me and replied, What did I teach you on your first day of work? He continued. Find and focus only on the root of the problem, then solve it. Once that's done, the other remaining problems will solve themselves. Okay, fire the whole team, we hire from scratch. Mr. Liu laughed and said he could see the potential in the team. We just need to make it work. But how? He laughed and placed his hand on my shoulder. I leave this to you. Fix it, James. You've never let me down before. Okay. Fix it, James. I mean it. We have 3 months. I don't care if you have to sleep with Sandy. You fix it. Wait, what? He checked his watch and said he had to go. Wait, did he say sleep with Sandy? Weekend. Family time. I watched him leave the lounge. I sighed and leaned back on my chair. Okay, now I just need to figure out how to get Terry to stop harassing Sandy, Hakeem to focus and come to work on time, Belinda to stop harassing my team member, Alex to wake the fuck up, and Uncle Tom to miraculously speed up the things he does. Oh, great. Fuck me. Jesus, actually, you know what? Let's save. Episode 1. The Ex-Girlfriend. Okay. 3rd of June 2011. Okay, so by the way, this is episode 1, well, a demo, right, of episode 1, which is expected to arrive together with episode 2 at the end of April. So that's the first 2 episodes coming then, and, you know, more episodes after that. At least that's the plan. Let me save really quick and go back. I was having a drink across the road from our office. The server came over to clear my empty mug and I asked if I would like some dessert or more drinks. More drinks, or perhaps you would like to try a slice of our signature velvet cake, sir? I smiled. Let's see, do I take the cake or have another beer? I think that's somewhere we have to save. Let's take the cake. You had me at signature velvet cake. Just then I saw Sandy in her yoga outfit walking towards the office. It's coming to 8:30 p.m. She's a bit later than usual that day. I saw her head into the lobby. I'll take that piece of cake. Pack it up for me, please. I paid for it and was about to cross the road over to my office when I saw something interesting. Terry appeared from around the corner and he too went into the lift lobby. Okay. I reached the office and got another shock when I saw Alex at the entrance all packed up and ready to go. He's leaving early that day. Huh, that's weird. Hey, leaving already? Yeah, trust me man, you don't want to be here right now. He nodded his head over his shoulder towards the office and I walked over to check it out. From across the distance, I could see Sandy sitting down on her chair, her arms crossed while Terry was gesturing wildly at her. I kept out of sight but close enough to hear what they were talking about. You moved out without telling me! Why should I tell you anything? Who the fuck do you think you are? I'm still paying rent for that place. Then don't. I don't need your rent, your money. Just fucking leave me alone. The argument got heated and soon Sandy got on her feet. Go and fuck your new girlfriend. Leave me alone for fuck's sake. What do I do is none of your business. And she's better than you. Good, then go to her. Stop harassing me. You think I don't know? You kept going to my place when I'm not around, with the spare key. You think I don't know what you're doing? That was our place. My place. I paid for that rent. No one forced you to. The quarrel went on and soon they were pushing each other, jabbing on each other's chest. Ooh, this would spiral out of control soon. I want to do something, but I don't know what. In the end, I did the only thing I could. Go back home? I called Sandy's phone after moving further away from the office towards the lift lobby. Oh, I could hear her long ringtone from where I stood. A few seconds later, she answered. Yes, James? Sandy, do you happen to be in the office? Can you help me check if I left the blue file with the project brief on my desk? Hold on. Yep, it's here. Oh, thank God. I thought I left it at the restaurant. Oh, thanks. I'll head back and grab it, okay? Oh, you're coming back. Okay, see ya. I hung up and disappeared into the staircase landing. I peeked through the small vision panel and I saw Terry walking out a minute later, looking a little irritated. After waiting for the lift to chime and signal his departure, I left the staircase and walked over to Sandy. "Here's the file, James." She smiled, but I could tell she looked a bit upset. Let's see. Give her the cake or keep the cake? Let's give her the cake. Here, have some cake. I placed a piece of cake on her desk and came clean, telling her I heard them quarreling and that I called her in an attempt to make it stop. "It's okay, James. Thanks. I'm sorry you had to see that." "What's going on between you two?" "It's nothing, James. He just... Never mind." "Hey, it's alright. You can tell me. Don't keep it all inside." I smiled and gave her shoulder a gentle squeeze. I'm sick of his constant harassment. He keeps stalking me, where I've been, what I'm doing. He refuses to just move on. He keeps accusing me of not moving on because I still love him. Doesn't he hear you have a new girlfriend? Why is he still bothering you? Sandy went on to say that he keeps a close tab on her life. He would secretly visit her place when she's out. He says as long as I say it, he will consider having me back, but not as a girlfriend because he's already with that Belinda. He asked me to be his lover. No, you're just a booty call girl. I told him it's not possible. He says as long as I'm not attached, he still believes he stands a chance. Of what? Of you being his booty call? That's kinda weird. I raised an eyebrow before nodding slowly. So, what are you going to do? I don't know. Sorry, James, I shouldn't bother you with all this. She turned away and went back to her terminal, clicking away as I looked at her body, the way her legs crossed, her slender arms and long fingers. Really? Long fingers? That's what you're looking at? Her fingers? There's a small mole below her right eye. Somehow there's something about that turns me on. So, to sum it up, he'll stop once you're attached, right? Sandy turned around and looked at me before she gave me a smile. It's okay, James. Don't bother volunteering yourself. I don't want to get you into trouble. I thought about it for a moment before I made her a preposition. Well, let's just have it we'll just have to make it seem as if you are attached when in fact you are not. Then... Sandy thought about it for a while and asked, "Can you really do that?" I gave her a wink. Sandy laughed and waved me off. Alright, it's late, I should go. Have a nice weekend, go home, have a good rest, and just leave this to me. She smiled and thanked me for the help. Okay. 6th of June, 2011. Monday, 9 AM. And that was something outside. I got into the office and I saw Sandy putting her head down on her arms to catch some rest. Hey, you okay? When she looked up at me, I could see she has a bit of dark circles on her eyes. Despite the light makeup she had on, you could still see she's tired. Terry, he's bothering me at my new place. As in what? He keeps knocking on your door or something? She shook her head. He's just being creepy. I see his car parked in the car park at my place, but I don't see him anywhere. And out of nowhere he would call me on my phone and I would jump. She said that she got so paranoid that she kept peering out her window every now and then only to see his car in the car park. It's freaking her out so much she would rather not leave the house. Needless to say, she did not get much rest or sleep over the weekend. Why don't you tell his girlfriend about this? It's not that simple, James. Terry, he always makes everything seem like such a way. He always makes everything seem in such a way that he's the good guy. I think this one is a little tweaking. He will surely have something to say about that, and in the end, it'll just make me look stupid. I thought about it for a while before going back to work. 4 p.m. Meetings kept me busy for most of the day until 4 p.m. I see Terry coming into the office with a few boxes of muffins and he passed it to the receptionist. Oh, free snacks for afternoon tea. This I would not miss out on. Grabbing my coffee cup, I headed to the pantry just as the receptionist, Lisa, is arranging the boxes in the narrow counter. She opened up the box and stacked the others on the lid of the first before opening the second one, and so on. This would save quite a bit of space since the counter is pretty small. Hey James, help yourself to the muffins. It's on the house, with compliments from Terry. She winked and smiled at me. We can't see her though, cause, it's still a work in progress. Of course, thanks. Lisa turned and happened to see an empty water dispenser, and she asked if I could help her grab a refill bottle out of the storeroom and change it. Yeah, sure, I'll help. Thanks. I left my cup on the counter and opened the storeroom, which is right by the side of the water dispenser. It's an old storeroom, crammed full of stuff. You cannot even open the door fully, which meant that I can't exit the room together with the bottle in my arms. It's too tight to accommodate the width of my shoulders and the bulky bottle. I squeezed myself in and grabbed a refill bottle. Suddenly, I could hear some voices outside, and I immediately recognized them as Terry and Sandy. Why were you at my place? You're crazy. What? I cannot park my car there. There was an angry silence. I kept really still inside the storeroom. Try the muffins. It's nice. This cheese flavor one is so good. I could hear Terry munch on the muffin as she walked away to make her coffee. Huh. Alright, what should we do? Continue to observe or leave the storeroom? Wait, so let's save. And let's continue to observe. Oh. What the hell? Ah! Suddenly Sandy screamed. The sound of boxes crashing down rang out, and I could hear Sandy's cup fall from against the table. What are you doing? Why did you throw your muffins? By then, the commotion attracted a few other colleagues, and I could hear Lisa and Sharon talking in the pantry as well. What happened? Oh no, someone please go get the cleaner. Terry spoke next, and it made my blood boil to hear the words that came out of his mouth. My god, Sandy, we need to be more careful next time. What a waste of good muffins. No, I was really looking forward to enjoying them over tea break. Wait, did he push the boxes of muffins down and blame her? Go buy everyone another round, Sandy. It's your fault anyway. I could not believe what I was hearing. Thanks, Sandy, but buy more chocolate ones, please. I could hear Sandy stomping out of the office on her heels as the crowd dispersed. I waited for a while more before I headed back to my desk. I was angry, but I needed to stay calm to have a clear mind. This had to stop. 6 p.m. I went over to Sandy's desk and asked if she's game to stop the harassment once and for all. How? I'm gonna fuck with his mind. I can't say it will work 100%. Sorry, that's me. I can't say it will work 100%, but it's good. It's a good mindfuck nevertheless. She gave me a puzzled look as I outlined to her what I have in mind. A smile slowly broke out on her face, and before long she was laughing and smacking her thigh. Let's try it then. Mr. Liu came over a while later at 7 p.m. before he left and asked me. What are you up to, James? Just doing my job. I flashed him my $1 million smile. He gave me a frown and asked me to send him some documents and he will review them at home. Oh, that's not good. 10th of June 2011. Friday, 10 a.m. As much as we want to put the plan into motion, we cannot do it immediately. If something happens out of the blue, it might seem a little suspicious. This is why I waited a week. It's Friday. Linda will usually come looking for Hakim because she gives him his assignments on a weekly basis and they're due on Fridays. From where I sat, I have a clear view of everyone coming in and going out of the office wing. whereas for the rest of the team, they all had their backs towards the entrance in a straight line. 10:15 a.m. Belinda did her usual 10-minute talk with Hakim in an impatient manner. Hakim, you only just came into the office? We start work at 9. I've been looking for you the whole morning. The file you sent me, you got the file's name spelled wrong. I rolled my eyes and went back to work, keeping a close eye at the entrance. I was to warn Sandy when Terry comes in. 10:30 a.m. Terry walked in with a file in his hand and sneezed into a napkin a couple of times. That was the cue. Sandy caught it immediately and quickly picked up the phone and pretended to speak softly into it. Yeah? Terry got right up behind Sandy and waited for her to hang up. Yes, I'm in the office. Oh, okay, just leave it at the reception. Thank you. When Terry did his usual charade of asking her about stupid and trivial admin stuff, Sandy just nodded with a smile. She did not frown, she did not seem like she was affected by him, more so of just wanting to get it over and done with. Her nonchalant attitude somehow affected Terry as he seemed to be lacking some insults that day. I checked the time. I had planned for flowers and gifts to be sent to Sandy that afternoon. 99 roses and a bottle of wine. Yeah, I paid for it, but I'm going to claim it from Mr. Liu. Oh, come on, I think that's a bad idea. It's about making a statement, yeah, and making your boss pay for your shenanigans, okay? I don't think that's gonna go well. Sandy went back to her work after Terry left. Now, 12 p.m. The commotion has started. I can hear Lisa and Sharon talking about the flowers from the pantry. Oh my god, I've never seen such a large bouquet of roses before, it's so pretty! And they look expensive too. Sandy, a lucky girl. Alright, spill it. Who is he? He's just a friend. Son of one of the developers we worked with. Wow, how did you guys meet? That was enough to sow the deceit and fan the flames of rumor. By 3 p.m, news had spread throughout the office that the developer's son had given Sandy 99 roses. There were even rumors that someone would be coming to propose to Sandy later, and I almost burst out laughing. Now at 5 p.m, Terry burst into the office. He looked mad and upset. He walked towards our table and I noticed he could not tear his eyes away from the roses and wine. He looked like he wanted to talk to Sandy but held back. I tried to keep a straight face, but I still found it funny. 10 to 6 p.m. Sandy started to pack up and got ready to leave. Now at 6 p.m, Sandy got up and immediately left work on time, skipping her usual schedule for yoga. As expected, Terry came looking for her barely minutes after she left. Well, this guy is really a freaking stalker, Jesus. Where's Sandy? Oh, she answered the call, then took her bag and left. Think her friend is picking her up. Oh, okay, thanks. I held back a chuckle and shut down my computer. Hey, wanna go for some drinks? I'll pass. I smiled and gave him a wink. I'm working tonight. I pulled out a small trolley suitcase from under my desk and rolled it out the lobby. Instead of taking my usual route to the train station, I walked in the opposite direction, crossing the road towards the apartment blocks at Everton Park. I walked towards an ATM where a lady with 99 roses waited. What took you so long? Seriously, are you complaining after receiving so many roses? I never really received so many flowers before though. I checked the time and looked back at Sandy. Are you ready? She nodded. We walked towards the car park and I unlocked the Mercedes C-Class I rented for the weekend. Yes, I kept the receipt. Claim from Mr. Liu. Oh Jesus, this guy's really gonna charge his boss for everything. We drove back to Sandy's rented place. She rented an apartment on the 3rd floor. It gave her a direct view of the car park from the kitchen and her bedroom window. How did Terry know that you moved? He even knows where you moved to. He knew the moment I updated my address with HR. I laughed and established the loyalty of Sharon and where it lies, so I can't trust Sharon basically. We drove in slow into the car park just to be sure. Sandy said Terry's car is nowhere to be seen and she directed me to park at the very spot he parked over the weekend. Don't worry, I doubt he's even here. I doubt he's even here last week. What? Probably just parked his car here to rattle your cage. Oh, yeah. We got out and I directed Sandy to leave the roses in the car. Take off your cardigan. She narrowed her eyes and gave me a suspicious look. Take it off. She removed them, revealing a pair of creamy arms she had on a sleeve creamy arm. She had on a sleeveless dress that day. Those could have been like 2 sentences. Anyway. Stop looking. Why not? I smirked at her. She threw the cardigan at me and I caught it. Now what? Smell her cardigan. That's alright. Smell her card. Okay, let's say smell her cardigan. That can't be that creepy, right? I brought it to my nose for a sniff. Nice. James! Sick! I laughed as she came over to hit me on my arm. I left Sandy's cardigan in the back seat. Using my index finger, I gestured for her heels. She made a face with her mouth and took them off. Don't you dare smell it, James. Oh, come on. Yeah, I'm not gonna smell the heels, yeah. I laughed and dropped one on the back seat and one in the front. I threw a bag of open tissues and a condom wrapper on the floor. Let's go. Heading up to Sandy's place, I put a pair of men's shoes outside her door. We entered the apartment and closed the door behind us. The lights were off, but we switched on a small lamp to cast a orange glow throughout the place. We ordered pizza, turned on some music in the living room, and chatted. I asked her about her relationship with Terry and briefly understood from her his character, the way he thinks. His manner in which he treated the people around him and beneath him. He has airs. He's very arrogant. If he doesn't think you are on par with him, he looks down on you. Well, then how did the two of you get together in the first place? I managed to glimpse a slight smile from Sandy under the dim lights. You know, there was a time when things between Terry and I were nice. I nodded. Go on. She remembered working for the company for 6 months before she met Terry, who started to come in as an intern. He was given some simple administrative work to do under her guidance. Back then, she hadn't known that Terry was the boss's son. He made his dad promise not to reveal anything to his staff that he was his son. As Sandy is one of those whose age range is closer to him, they managed to hit it right off. They hung out often during lunch and sometimes would grab some drinks after work. He wasn't like that back then. He was friendly to everyone, willing to learn, and always helpful. Most of the time, Sandy would be the one footing the bill, as she assumed that as an intern, Terry was not making as much as she is. Wow, damn. Okay. She takes care of Teddy like just like how an older sister would. As the two of them grew even closer, they eventually got into a relationship. Oh, and he was a virgin when we started dating. I was his first girlfriend and also the one who took his first time. Sandy said that Terry still didn't reveal he's the boss's son after they started dating. That's I mean, why wouldn't you have? So when did you actually find out? Oh, it was much later. I found out about it by accident, and after that, things just started falling apart. Sandy chanced upon Terry and the boss, chanced upon Terry and the boss, Mr. Liu, at the car park. It was then he heard Terry call him Dad. So that must be pretty crap, to find out by mistake. I mean, he could have, could have said something when they started dating. She confronted Terry about it, who finally admitted that he is the boss's son. I was shocked, flabbergasted. If I had known, I would have kept my distance. I mean, imagine the kind of gossip something like this would invite into the office. We quarreled, and if that wasn't bad enough, he dropped a second bomb on me. He told me that he'll be flying off to Australia to further his studies in a month's time, and he wanted to spend what's left of his time with me. Sandy was devastated. Her feelings were real, were real for Terry, but she was treated with one lie after another. Oh. I wanted a clean break then and there. I wanted him out of the house, but he lost it, and I could see Sandy holding back her tears and shaking a little while she started to think back about that dark past. He got violent, pushed me onto the floor, and he forced himself on me. She said that Terry apologized profusely after he raped her, saying he wasn't himself. What the fuck? Sandy chased him out of her house and wanted to quit her job the next day. And report him maybe to the police, no? The boss came to her and apologized on his son's behalf and made her an offer of compensation and a pay raise if she could let the matter go. Wow. Sandy took it. After that, Sandy was adamant that Terry stays away from her. I would never ever let him touch me again. Terry left for Australia filled with remorse, realizing that each day apart from Sandy only made him fonder of her. What? But if only he had kept his school and not made the wrong decision that night, there might still be a chance to salvage the relationship. Till this day, Terry remained regretful of his actions that night, his feelings for Sandy real, and when Sandy no longer offers him any chance of reconciliation, he turned to petty stalking and harassment. I mean, she could still report him, I would guess, right? For at least sexual assault, I don't know. After we were done with dinner, we hung around the kitchen in the dark, drinking a can of beer. 8:30 p.m. He's here. There, over there. That's his car. Turning in. I drained the beer and got ready. People like him, they don't give up easily. You would be naive to think that just a simple trick like that would make him stop. It would not, but for a start, it would fuck with his mind. That's what we wanted to do. Fucking with his mind and playing with his thoughts is a good start. I quickly put on my shoes, grabbed my suitcase, and got out of the house. I took the stairs up a couple of floors and took up a scouting position from an angle. Terry's engine remained running as he parked beside my car. Well, the rent-a-car. His is a newer model. Looks better too. It's an S-Class after all. I knew he would choose to park beside my car. It's an ego thing. As if he's sizing up your competition. What better way to show off by parking your car besides another one that screams mine costs more, about twice of yours. Besides, there's a lesser chance of the car owner being a dick and ramming his car door into yours. It would hurt everyone equally. I watched him do a double take at my car. There was no way you could miss the large bouquet of roses on the passenger seat. I even threw a few petals on the dashboard and on the bonnet. I watched as Terry peered into the car, no doubt taking in the scene and letting his mind run wild. He suddenly turned and looked up towards Sandy's place. My phone buzzed and vibrated. Hello? I'm ready. Okay, he's heading up. As Terry walked towards the flat, I unzipped the trolley case I brought along with me. If this was a Hollywood movie or something, you could expect perhaps stun grenades and a slick sniper rifle. Maybe some bullets arranged in a straight line for visual effect, but sorry, we're not in Hollywood. You cannot just buy a gun off the store around the corner. I unclapped the buckle and looked at the stuff I had prepared. It's everything you can get from the store around the corner. I know what you have in mind as the box opened up. A nice grey foam with cutoffs of the items I bought and everything neatly tucked inside. James's box of tricks. Don't be ridiculous, come on. It's just an old trolley that I could do without and cannot be traced back to me. It looked battered and old, but the lock still works well. I changed into a t-shirt and pulled off my pants. My boxes are actually casual shorts, were actually casual shorts that day. I planned for this. I slipped on the flip-flops I brought along in the suitcase and took out a pair of glasses and a cap. Everything took less than a minute. I took out the toothbrush and toothpaste and stuck it in the side compartment together with this pair of shaver. Huh, okay. Sandy's unit is located at the corner of the block. The easiest way for Terry would be to take the lift 3 floors up, leading directly to her place. I'm on the 5th floor, so there was no way he could see me. I started to descend the stairs to the ground floor, careful not to make too much noise together with my trolley. I barely made it to the ground floor when I got a message from Sandy saying that Terry was at her door and demanded for her to open up. "He's here, are you ready?" 10 seconds. Once I reached the ground level, I pulled on the cap and put on a pair of glasses. I pulled up the handle of the trolley and started dragging the trolley loudly. If Terry looked down, he would see the image of someone heading towards the car. Taking my time to open the trunk, I casually glanced up from an angle as I loaded my trolley inside. I could see Terry staring at me from the 3rd floor. I wonder what was going through his mind when he saw me putting the luggage into the car. Is Sandy moving out with me? Or did I just finish moving in with her? I started the engine. I even revved the engine for a second before I pulled out of the driveway just to irritate him. No matter how expensive your car is, if you're not driving it, it won't matter. As expected, I saw Terry glaring down at me as he hit the railing with his arm. Now would be the time Sandy opened the door. Now, you know what, since it's already been, close to an hour, I'm gonna let you find out what happens next. There are a few not safe for work stuff, soon after this scene, so I'm not gonna continue, but you can check out the demo and see what happens to Terry, to Sandy, and to our sneaky little character James here, and just have an idea of what's going to happen in the first episode of Lost Selection. And of course, if you play it, maybe leave some feedback, say what you like, what you didn't like. You can also support the developer Select Gameworks on Patreon if you like the game and if you want to see the episodes come out, and if you want the episodes, episode 1 and 2, I think you have to pledge at least $5 on Patreon. And again, those 2 episodes will be coming out in April, at the end of April. But if you are one supporter, you could get access to episode 1 as soon as the end of January. At least that's the plan. So everyone, that was a quick 1-hour look at the Lost Selection, an episodic visual novel that's in development right now, with the demo, of course, available on itch.io for Windows and Mac OS. Thanks so much everyone for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up really quick, and if you like what I do here, consider subscribing. That would be actually immensely helpful, because just spread the word, that tell other people about the channel. If you do subscribe on YouTube, please click on the notification bell so it's more likely that you get notified about when I put up new content. And what else? Oh, check out the back catalog of over 1,960 videos at this point. Yes, I'm closing in on 2,000 videos, so you'll definitely find loads of games there that you've never heard of, but you'll definitely like. And if you can, take half a minute to see the stuff in the description, the ways you can support me, through which you can support me, either the creator tag for the Epic Games Store Cryptic Hybrid or the Humble Store link, which all those methods help me out a lot, and they cost you absolutely nothing. Just a quick look. Thanks again everyone for watching, and until the next time we see each other, have an awesome day.